How's it going, everybody? This is Charisma. In this video of Violence District, we're going to talk about two big issues I think that could be improved to make the game so much better. So without further ado, hit that like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, if you don't know what Violence District is, I have a video playing right here on the right side. It is basically like Dead by Daylight, but on the Roblox version, and it's actually really fun, and it's looks very clean. Like, I enjoy it. I've made a few videos on it. You guys can see the gameplay right here for yourself, and maybe you want to play it. But I want to talk about two things that they need to change. And then before I get into that, just want to say I do really love the game, but I might just be a little critical here. But that's because I want the game to just really thrive here. And at the end of the day, it is my opinion, so you can just disregard it. But I think two of my points here are very valid. So the first point that I think that they could do to make this game better, one big issue that I've noticed, and again, I think this game is in the alpha, so it can definitely change very quickly. And I think the first one is the queue system. The queue system is just not that efficient at all. You join, you get into a game, and if you get lucky, they might already be in a game, and that gives you time to like work on your build or whatever, look what you need to do. But if you join a game and like either the match just ended or you played a game and then the match ended, there's only like a 1 minute timer before the next match, and it's like that just doesn't give me a lot of time to look at my build, see what perks I want to do, and really think about it. So like when a match ends, like 1 minute, just not a lot of time, and it's just annoying because it's like you just feel kind of rushed, and you have to like, do I want this perk? Do I want this perk? And it's like, yeah. So I don't like that. Let's see what. Oh yeah, the queuing up system is just not good because like when I join a game, it's just so not consistent with how many people I get in the game. Like in this video I have right here, you guys can see if I move it over. We had 5 survivors. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes 4, sometimes 3. And when it's 3, dear goodness, it's not fun. It's just not enjoyable. There needs to be a system where you join a lobby that doesn't put you in the game after 1 minute. You click play, and then it queues you up into a lobby of like 4 to 5. And we'll get a little bit more into the 5 survivors kind of aspect because that is a kind of a lot, but I'm not opposed to it if they tweak it a little bit. But I don't like when it's a game of 3, because if the killer gets one person down and then they like try to do a slug, meaning they try to get everyone else down without putting the other survivor on the hook, the game can just go very south very quickly. So you need at least 4 people. I think 5's enjoyable, but it gets a little broken there once you have 5. But so yeah, that's my first thing is the queue system. They need to make just a lobby where you can join, where you can have infinite time to work on your builds, look at whatever, that kind of thing, and then queue up and then get into a match consistently with 4 to 5 people. If they can do that, I feel like the matches would be a lot better, because when you get into if you do it the way how it is now, you'll just sit in the lobby. People will join off and on pretty frequently. Maybe it's because they see there's only 3 people, so they'll leave. And then when I get into a match, there'll be like 3 people, and it's like, well, this is not fun. And especially as a killer, like I don't want to be a killer with 3 people. That's just not fun at all. Like I want 4 to 5. I want a little bit of a challenge, like a back and forth. It just doesn't feel like a challenge. It feels really easy when it's just 3 people. So that's my first point. And my second point, and after playing this game and playing multiple matches and looking at what they offer here, the game is heavily survivor-sided. And people might think that I'm crazy here, but I have some information to give to you guys of why this game is survivor-sided. And I'll go into it. And when I just want to preface here when it comes to survivor-sided, if you have 4 really good people, and they know what they're doing, dear goodness, as a killer, you're gonna have a run for your money. It's gonna be scary. So the first one is, we're gonna talk about the items for survivors are just broken. There is an item, a sword, that every 40 seconds, if they swing at you, you can stun the killer. If anyone has played Dead by Daylight, could you imagine a perk where you didn't have to take a health state or be on the hook at least once, that just for every 40 seconds you can just literally click E and just like stun the killer? Oh my gosh, that would be literally the most broken, the most used perk in the game. And this is a item that refreshes every 40 seconds. And so if you know what you're doing, and even if it's a good killer that like tries to wait until you do it, I mean, yeah, you can try to do that, but every 40 seconds, even if you miss the first time you take a hit and then you loop them and you get it back and you just kind of bait them into hitting you, you use it, you stun them. You can actually get killers, even if they're a good killer, you can get them with the item. If you've watched Dead by Daylight, even good killers against someone that has dead hard, when they're like, and when they're about to get down, they can click E, and then if they get hit, they'll basically, you know, take like a free hit where they don't get down. Even then, a good killer, like against a good survivor, like a good survivor will still get them with it. Imagine this game with freaking every 40 seconds, and it's an item, not even a perk. And items don't go away. If you buy the item once and you go back to your like inventory, it is still there. It's not like Dead by Daylight where you get to like grind and unlock a bunch of items, and then, you know, maybe eventually you get to a point where you have 300 flashlights, so you basically have infinite to where you're never going to go through them, because 300 matches would just take forever. But this game, you buy the item once, and could you imagine 4 people having an item that never goes away, where it's basically like dead hard on steroids? Every 40 seconds it regenerates, you can just stun the killer. Dear goodness, and you don't even have to take a health state. Could you imagine that in Dead by Daylight? Tell me how ridiculous that would be. That is in this game right now. And we're not even going to talk about the flashlights. The flashlights are so easy to just blind people. Like when I'm killer and people use it, like they just like throw it up. I get blinded so easily. And granted, this is in the early stages of this game to where most people aren't good at this. But if this game, you know, 6 months down the road pops off and people really go to competitive, there is no way you can have those items and like the killer is just going to get stomped on. So that is just ridiculous. It's crazy. Anyway, but it is alpha and they're learning. If they see this video, dear goodness, please watch this video. Because that is just, as someone who's played like a few hundred, you know, 250 hours on Survivor on Dead by Daylight, and just knowing a little bit how the system works, and playing about 50 to 100 hours on like killer, I have both sides to just kind of give that nuance there. But anyway, another thing I want to mention here is I noticed is if like right here I'm at the very end where where I'm about to survive or I'm about to escape. Now when I escape, I can spectate the killer and the spectators. Now just think for a few seconds. Think for a few seconds how that's an issue if you're for the killer. One person escapes, they can just spectate the killer and then just tell him, hey, guess what? Guess what? He's over here, he's over here, he's over here, blah, blah, blah. It's just like free intel to just tell the survivors of the killer to avoid them. Like, and so that's an issue. And another thing, unless you have a like certain perks, there is no base kit where you see scratch marks on survivors. Yeah, you heard me. Like if you play Dead by Daylight, like you know that's a thing. Like if you're a killer, there's scratch marks. And there's scratch marks for a reason. Because if there wasn't scratch marks, dear goodness, killers would get destroyed so easily at that game. And in this game that you're watching right here on the right, guess what? There is no scratch marks unless you have a certain perk. So it's very easy to survivor to escape. Yeah, you can loop a few times like right here. But if I were to like somehow get around the corner and just kind of hide, then guess what? It's easy to hide. There's no scratch marks, no base kit scratch marks. And so that's another issue with this game. And one of my other things I don't like about this game that they need to change is survivors, they have access to all the perks right away. Meaning, and what I mean by that, yes, you have to buy them, but there's like a whole freaking list of perks you can buy. For killers, you have to grind. You have to grind to get to like, I think each character, like each like killer is like 15, 30, and 45. You lock a perk, and then I believe you can use a different killer and use that perk. So basically, once you unlock the perk, you unlock them for the other ones, but you have to grind it. The issue with that is, one, survivors have full access to the perks they can just buy, and two, there is no queue up system for killers alone. So you're probably on average going to play between 2 to 4 matches as survivor before you get put as a killer. And so then when you have that one match, you have to kind of do good so you can maximize your potential. And so by time, you know, who knows how long it can take before you really get some of the really good perks. You really have to grind and hope that you don't get annoying people when they just dunk on you. So that's another thing. And then another thing with this game is that's very survivor sided is gens pop like that. Gens are so easy to go through. It's so easy to just run gens. Like I was playing the matches tonight and I was playing really good. I put a lot of pressure on them, but I only had like one perk, and it was basically like agitation from Dead by Daylight, where when I pick someone up, I'm faster to the hook. But that was it, because I couldn't access other perks because I needed to be higher level. And it's just they just pop gen so much. Like I played a 3v1 match against a killer and like looped him so much, and we won the game. Like, or at least I escaped on a 3v1. Like we popped those gens, and it's just like, and I feel like they really need to balance it. Like with 5 players, I feel like you need to do like 6 gens, or keep them at 5 gens, but make it where it's slightly slower. Because there are some slowdown perks with killer. I do appreciate. You have to like grind a little bit to get to them, but at least the killers do have some slowdown perks, which at this point, that's what you need at this game. Is like if you're killer and you have a decent team, especially like 5, like you need some kind of slowdown perk. Like you have to. So something with like just the really like, it's so easy to just pop a gen on this game, especially when people are doing it. And then if you get one person that can loop the killer, it's like, dear goodness. So those are my takes on this game. I really enjoyed the game. I like Dead by Daylight. On my other channel, Charisma RNG, it's more of a new channel, and I just kind of just post random content. And I've been posting Dead by Daylight content. I like that. I like the Dead by Daylight game. I like this game. It's really fun. It's really smooth. It's not janky. Maybe the hitbox is a little wonky, but I think they're working on that. But I just feel like there's just, with this being in the early stages, they could really tune this game up and make it so much better. They need to make a better queue system to where you can get into games better, or where you don't have to go into a game right away. You can queue up when you have your perks settled and all that, and you can consistently get put into matches of 4 to 5. That would make this game so much better. And then nerf some of these freaking items. Like that hook, that sword should not be a 40-second. You could argue like 80 seconds. Like it needs to be nerfed to where it's not like 40 seconds is like, you can easily loop a killer in this game for 40 seconds. You can stun them, and then guess what? Let it for it to refresh, hide, because there's no scratch marks unless they have a perk, and then get it right back. And then the flashlight's so easy, just and he misses, and then I got the window. So like this area is like really, you can really just use looping really well at this game. So there's just some things that they need to tweak. That's my overall thoughts. And if people don't agree with me, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I would just ask, have you played both sides a lot? Have you played Killer and Survivor a lot to like know like what it's like on both sides? Because someone who's a Survivor main might say, well, it's not Survivor side, and I'm like, go play some matches as Killer, and like really experience it, and wait until you get to a good team that knows what they're doing, and then like they have annoying weapons. It will be frustrating. But anyway, those are my overall thoughts. Please hit that like, subscribe, and bye-bye.